Welcome back, Truth Seeker. I believe we're live. It's October 14th, 2018. Lots to talk about in the news. That's what we're going to do right here. I was on earlier and my live stream got cut off, so let's hope that doesn't happen a second time. I'm going to save that topic I was on for the last part of this presentation because I've noticed twice in the last week when I've talked about that, the live feeds cut out. So we'll save that in the end. For the end, just in case it happens a third time. I'm going to switch over to the desktop here and get going on this presentation. So we've been looking out for October 15th. We're wondering if history is going to repeat itself in regards to the stock market. We might be getting an early clue with the market in Saudi Arabia. It's already Monday over there. Their stock market has plunged to start October 15th. 2018. And we'll see if the United States follows right behind. Another big story in the news right now, there's a bus crash in Los Angeles. They say they don't know what happened. They say at least 25 people hurt. And right away, just from doing the work that I've done for years, some major signals went off in my head. It was a few years ago that the Denver Broncos kept having bus crash stories in relation to Denver in the news on the dates that they played football games. And today the Los Angeles Rams are playing the Denver Broncos. And here's a bus crash. It's Sunday, it's football. Again, this one's in LA. They're playing the Broncos. I was following this pattern a few years ago. I documented earlier this year on August 30th, the New Mexico bus crash. I showed what this had to do with the Los Angeles Rams. This bus was traveling from St. Louis to Los Angeles, the old home of the Rams, to the new home. And just in case you missed this work from August 30th, I want you to see everything here. They reported that the bus was carrying 47 passengers. That was funny right away because New Mexico is the 47th state, the home of the UFO sighting, Roswell, in 47. Remember the word news has gematria 47? The news station that broke this story was KOAT, gematria 47, good acronym for news. It was a head-on crash 47. Remember the words government, authority, policeman, cop, all gematria 47. That was the source of the information. In this case, the bus was traveling from St. Louis 47, and it happened exactly 47 days after New Mexico's governor's birthday, July 14th, to the day it happened, 47 days later. The name Martinez has that gematria 47. There's 47 degrees on the Freemason compass. If you write out 47th, it sums to 147, like her 14/7 birthday, like how Genesis 47 is where Jacob, who becomes Israel, dies at age 47. It's not an accident that Israel was recognized as a nation by the United Nations in 47. But what I pointed out then is 47 is a big number for the NFL. The first Super Bowl was recognized in the 47th year of the NFL. The word foundation has gematria 47. The 47 degrees on the Freemason compass are a tribute to the 47th problem of Euclid about how to establish foundation. What's interesting about today to the upcoming Super Bowl, which I have a feeling the Rams are going to be in, is that it's 112 days from today, and Super Bowl equals 112. So I have no doubt that this bus crash story is related to these ongoing riddles. Keep in mind those bus crash riddles with Denver were the year that they went to the Super Bowl and defeated the Carolina Panthers. So as stupid and ridiculous as this might sound, I have no doubt that this is exactly what's going on here. The people who control this nation, they perform drills on a whim. This is a simulated drill. They will inconvenience people in real time. It's not beyond what they do. If you were following my work the year that I called the Denver Broncos over Carolina Panthers Super Bowl, there was a story in October on an interstate in California that also clued me into that. You might recall the story if you lived in Los Angeles. It was a story that shut down the freeway for 6 hours. Supposedly there was a single car accident. It was a Jewish man who had just had a goat sacrificed because he was experiencing all these bad demons. Look this story up. It's in the news still. The headlines are still up. Supposedly, he was in a single car accident, and when he crashed, he wasn't buckled up, and he didn't fly out his front windshield, but supposedly he flew out of his back window and landed on a freeway overpass. And that overpass had something to do with Colorado. I don't remember if it's Colorado Boulevard or Street. But all the numbers in that story were a big clue for the Super Bowl, which was hosted in San Francisco that year. So anyway, all this stuff is the exact same. This is how mad the people are who control our world. This is the stuff that they do every single day. And we need to wake up to it. This is taxpayer dollars at work here. Simulated drill, destruction, inconvenience, people hurt. Looks like there was a real car accident. It's not beyond these people. These are the same people who tear down 110-story towers in Manhattan to get what they want. That's who these people are. Then they'll make the New England Patriots and the guy who can hardly even move in a sport that's all about speed the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. Tom Brady of the Patriots after the Patriot Act. It's time for people to wake up to what nation they live in and what's really going on here. So from August 30th, the New Mexico bus crash related to the Rams, to this crash, no doubt related to the Rams, it's a span of 46 days later. Bus crash has this gematria of 46. Something that's coming in my mind right now, in light of who I expect the Rams to be playing in the Super Bowl, Patriots equals 46, Tom Brady 46, Michigan 46. Tom Brady was the 199th pick out of Michigan, the 46th prime. The NFL, the drafts, it's all that scripted. Anyway, this was also, if you don't count the full span, it was 45 days later. It happened on the I-405 freeway. Geometry has that gematria of 45. This is an instrument of geometry set at 47 degrees. The shape of the football, the vesica piscis equals 53. It's the most important shape in sacred geometry. That's why in the NFL there's a 53-man roster, a 53-yard wide field. Notice bus crash in Los Angeles have the 53 thing going too. And that same cipher, Patriots, is 53. There it is on the I-405 at about 1 p.m. That's 1300 military time. If you write out 13 as a word, it sums to 45. NFL has the gematria of 45. LA is 12 plus 1, 13. Today's date, October 14th, 18, date with 42 numerology, bus 42. LA in the reverse reduction cipher. LA in reverse reduction also has the gematria of 14. We're on the 14th day of October. Crash, I want you to see how it syncs up with Broncos, things we've talked about in the past with these bus crashes syncing up with Bronco games. And I can't tell you exactly why they're so dumb to do this, but they are. They are. I'm sure there's some deeper esoteric meaning or some riddle that I'm not seeing, but it's been long enough and years of documenting the bus crashes with the Super Bowl. The year that Broncos faced Carolina, they even got a bus crash story like this in Carolina on a football day too. Of course they did. I'm sure we'll read about more of these this year. So from one crash to another, latest headline on the limo crash last week by the numbers, a shared grief. What jumps out about this headline in the base ciphers? Is it the 223, the big Masonic number, when last week we showed how this was a giant Masonic ritual? October 6, 2018, date with 54 numerology. This was the date of the new limo crash, limousine 54. October 6th, 2018, the day leaving 86 days left in the year. This happened in Shohari, gematria of 86. The limo supposedly hit a Highlander. Needless detail in the story, but Highlander 86. Shohari, Highlander, accident, limo, all gematria of 49 as well in the base ciphers. In case you're new here, there's 4 base ciphers, alphabetic order, forwards and backwards with the rules of numerology. They said 20 people killed, 18 in the limo, 2 in the parking lot. 18 dead in 2018 in a limo. It was supposedly a 30-year-old getting married, and they crashed on Interstate 30. So anyway, there's a few other things to this story, like the coordinates of where it happened, the 42nd parallel, the 74th meridian, Freemason, Zionism 42, Masonic, Jewish 74, When you write out 4274, killing Gematria English 74. The police officer speaking out was Chris Fiore 74. It blew through an intersection 74. It came a span of 61 days, or it came 61 days before the sitting governor's 61st birthday. 61's the 18th prime, 18 dead in the limo. It's just par for the course. Crashed in a parking lot. Perfect Gematria overlap with conspiracy, which it was. They said the limo was an excursion. Hello, 47. A 2001 excursion. Would that even still be on the road? I mean, I feel like most limo companies aren't driving around vehicles that are nearly 2 decades old. Maybe I'm mistaken about that, but last time I checked, it was that way. So it was more news by the numbers. It always is when it's coming through the mainstream media. Here's another good one. Bulgarian journalist Victoria Marinova raped and murdered. And this happened in a place called Ruse. Ruse is like a trick. As you can see, attractive woman. She was just 30 years old. Remember, this was the same day that we had the wedding crash. The day she was killed was the same day as the wedding crash of the 30-year-old on Interstate 30. You know, a 30-year-old getting married. But again, October 6th, the day leaving 86 days left in the year. Blood sacrifice 86. Think about the term 86th to get rid of. It was a date with 34 numerology, 10 plus 6 plus 18, 34. She was murdered. Murder 34. She died on her 30th day of being 30 years old. Another 30-30, like Interstate 30 with the 30-year-old getting married. And what jumps out about that comes back to her name, Gematria. Notice Marinova has Gematria of 93, and Victoria has Gematria of 119. Saturn with the alphabetic order, the same cipher as 93. Saturn with the Francis Bacon cipher, which takes into account capital letters. The capital S is plus 26 more, which makes Saturn 119 in Francis Bacon. And Saturn's also 30 in reduction gematria when you take into account S being 10. So big Saturn numbers here. Saturn has to do with death and judgment. You know, I don't know if this woman really was murdered. If she was, perhaps she investigated the wrong thing. Perhaps she wrote about the wrong thing. But no doubt murdered by the numbers, by the code, the same repetitive code we see again. People killed all the time in connection to 86, as well as the numbers of Saturn, which again has to do with death, judgment, and time. The other thing is I mean, her being killed in the town of Ruse, where that word means trick. It could be a play on the fact of how she was tricked into being in this spot where she was murdered, or it could be a trick on the audience. Is she really not dead? Is it another contrived story for more media headlines? Does she get to retire and ride off into the sunset with this being her legacy? I can't answer these questions. What I notice is Ruse, though, has the gematria of 45 and 27 like ritual. So regardless, it's murder by numbers or contrived murder by numbers, and either way, it's tragic, especially the fact this goes on every single day, and the world still doesn't know, even though I've been pumping this knowledge out for 5 years straight, and continue to. So here's another emphasized SNL. Just go through the years of SNL now with the Trump skits and just see how many of these emphasized SNLs there are. SNL with the alphabetic order, 45. SNL, very Jewish, just like Gematria. Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, a Jewish practice, a Masonic practice. Again, in case you're new here, this comes from the mysticism of Kabbalah. Kabbalah says that God created the world by merging the letter with the number. So, SNL 45, Donald Trump number 45. This happened on October 13th, 18, a date with 41 numerology. As we've talked about, West, as in Kanye West, who became part of the skit, has the gematria of 13 and 41. 41's the 13th prime. Just in case you're new here, I'll pull up the calculator real quick. West, 1341. 41, if you click on it, it'll tell you it's the 13th prime number. and he was wearing the mega hat. You know, they're making a big deal about this mega hat. Mega's got that 13 thing going on. 86, just notice the 86 and 23. I call those the symbol numbers. You know, Kanye West used as a symbol in these rituals again and again. So, you know, just another reminder about how SNL rolls by the numbers. The same people who create the skits, if you will, for SNL, they create the skits every day for our mainstream media. Same people control all media. The you-know-whos. The ones the Anti-Defamation League say you can't question. They also control the world of sports. You know, they pretty much control everything because we've allowed them to. Here was a headline from yesterday, October 13th, 2018. Knicks dump $72 million man. You know, and here's everybody who reads this headlines like, man, 72 million. I'd have to work 10 lifetimes over to make that kind of money. Maybe 20, maybe 30, maybe 70. But understand, I don't think these athletes really get the money that we see in these contracts. I think it's more like a mocking of us, the people who watch and sometimes celebrate these people. That's a big money number. Money 72. No. So we're watching what happens to the money on Monday, which also equals 72 in this cipher. We're looking for a repeat of Black Monday from 31 years ago. And if Saudi Arabia is any indicator, it just might happen. Black gold over there. So anyway, there's more to this. October 13th, 2018 was a date with 16 numerology. The player who got cut was Joakim Noah. Joakim Noah. Noah has that gematria 16. And it gets better. Joakim Noah's 33 years old, right? He's 33. The day he was cut, October 13th, look at what that was for him in age. That was his 33rd week of being his age. What a coincidence. Hey, what's the gematria of New York? 33. What's the gematria of 16? 33. Remember he got cut on the date with 16 numerology? See how they do it? Everything in the world of sports, from what's scripted on the field to what's scripted off, to headlines such as this, it's all done by the code. That's why this knowledge, the language of letters and numbers, the code behind English, it is the most rewarding knowledge you could ever introduce and learn for yourself. And that's why I wrote a 773-page book, and it took me 5 years to write it, and I priced it at just $5, which is a price that's about to go up. Once these remaining copies are sold at $5, probably going to boost the price to $9. I think I'm going to make the jump 9. It's either going to be 9 or 12. But if you want to get it at 5, the time is now. I'm hoping that once I boost the price, it'll sell better. I have a feeling that because it's so low, people think it's invaluable. And it's worth a whole lot more than $9 and $12 too. But I tried to make it so everyone can afford it. And I'm hoping everybody who wanted it at the $5 values picked it up there. So just another example of sports and numbers. On my Patreon the other night, we did a live decode of this before it happened. And what we noticed is the matches on October 13th. That was the day leaving 79 days left in the year. The matches on October 13th. This was in the Shanghai Masters, sponsored by Rolex, the watch company. What we noticed about this match is that two of the players, Alexander Zverev and Roger Federer, they both had this gematria 79 in the base ciphers. Just like Champion, both playing on the day, leaving 79 days left in the year. And they were the two men who lost. And so Coric and Djokovic, they moved on to the championship. But I want you to see what was up with them too. Coric has the gematria 47, his name, like time. And again, they're playing in a tournament sponsored by Rolex, who makes the timepieces. Djokovic, he was playing on this day 144 days after his birthday. Huge time number. Again, the square root of 144 is 12. 12 hours in the morning, in the evening, 12 months in the year, 1,440 minutes in a day. So we saw this ritual. We said, look how they got this thing set up here for the semifinals to advance to the championship. And I got to be honest, when I looked at this, I was thinking it was going to be Federer and Zverev who advanced to the championship. But what I did say is I said, watch the first match, because if Federer loses, or whoever played first, I forget now, I said if one of the 79 guys loses, then the next one's probably going to lose too, because in the world of sports, the script is always together. So Of course, the 279 guys ended up going out together. And then you had the 13 seed advancing on the 13th, and the 2 seed. And you know what? We did a quick decode. We should have spent more time on it, but I think, yeah, it does. 2 has that gematria 13 too. So the 13 seed and the 2 seed and the most appropriate cipher advanced on the 13th. And in light of time, think about the moon and its 13 cycles of the earth each year. It's all time, but it gets better. Hold on. Notice our Rolex and time in the 4 base ciphers overlap in 2 of the 4 ciphers. Right here, reflections of each other, 4774. The semifinal match on the 13th was a date with 61 numerology, syncing up nicely with Rolex and time and this big perfectly scripted time ritual. With regards to who won it, Djokovic, no surprises there. Pretty much at the top of his game, winning things left and right in the world of tennis. Shanghai Masters 63. Novak's got that gematria 63 as well as 18 the year he takes it. And the man that Djokovic beat on the big time ritual date, Alexander Zverev, in the base cipher, his name's also 74, like Rolex. So big clue there with Djokovic advancing over this man. And again, you learn this code, you can start to apply this to every major sporting event in the world because they're scripted this way every single time. And as mind-blowing as it is this way every time, and you can prove it this way every single time. And the reason you can believe that, and you don't even have to believe it, but the reason you can believe it is because I'm here doing it every single day for 5 years straight. Every single thing thrown at me, I'm able to come right back and say, yep, here's why this is this way, this is why this is this way. Some people believe this is just the way the universe operates with everything. There's absolutely an organic side to this, but there's also a major manipulation piece. And in the world of sports, it's not hard to see. Not at all. Notice Djokovic closed it out 6-1 as well. 6-1. Rolex time, 61. The 18th prime, one more time. Novak 18 and 18. It's a script, folks. They couldn't have scripted it any better. That's why they say it in sports, because they're so proud of themselves. And you got to give it to them. I mean, they are brilliant. I mean, this is brilliant. But when you realize what they're really doing, that they're farming these people and they're birthing them and naming them accordingly for their planned roles in their future sports and professions and everything that they do, presidencies, politicians, CEOs, they live. You got to check out that movie. They live. Wasn't really about aliens. It was about this Masonic cartel, this network. Don't forget, they equals 58, like Freemasonry, like secret society. So here we go. Hall of Fame Packers fullback Jim Taylor dies at age 83. Now, I just showed how on October 9th, the day leaving 83 days left in the year, we had 3 football-related stories all connected to death. We had the death of the owner of the Chargers. We had the Jackie Robinson of football. And we had the cause of death for the young Georgia high school football player. All of these stories connected to 83 by the numbers. Here comes another one. Dead at 83, football 83, murder 83. The song Murder by Numbers came out in 83. You got to listen to that song. And what I noticed was funny. Somebody pointed out to me yesterday that the Police song Murder by Numbers on YouTube, the video, if you go there, you'll see that one of the top comments is people talking about how they found that song through my work. So it's good to see the words getting out. There's a whole bunch of comments and 120 some thumbs up on the comment last time I checked. So that's encouraging to see. But look at this. Football 83, murder 83, dead at 83. Not only that, but 83 is the 23rd prime number. He died on 10/13, 10 plus 13, 23. And he died 23 days after his September 20th birthday. Not an accident. Not at all. He played for the Packers, and his entire career he played for the Packers, except his last season he played for New Orleans. And what's interesting is the last game he played for New Orleans was against the Redskins. Now, consider Monday Night Football was just New Orleans and the Redskins, and this coming Monday night is the Packers. It reminds me last year when the 49ers and Rams played each other on Monday night, and a player who in his career played for the 49ers and Rams dropped dead before the game by the numbers. This is Murder by Numbers, young and elderly, from 30 to 83. The network will get you, even younger and even older. With regards to him dying on the 13th, the Packers play at Lambeau Field. Lambeau Field with the alphabetic order is 91, which is the 13th triangular number, meaning if you had 1 through 13, it's 91. When you flip the alphabetic order around, Lambeau Field's 233. 233 is the 13th Fibonacci number. Thank you to the 2 people who just went out and picked up the book at $5. Much appreciated. Who's going to be the next 2? Anyway, not coincidental that he died on the 13th. Zenith of the Alpha and the cipher he discovered, which we call the Frank Bacona cipher, G also works out to 13 in that cipher. Brilliant man there, Zenith of the Alpha. The Packers have the big G on their helmet, right? Considering the Freemason logo is set at 47 degrees, and if you're not aware of this, American football was established by a Scottish Rite Freemason, Walter Camp. Walter has gematria 83 like football. But that's why Freemasonry had the first Super Bowl in the 47th season. But I noticed this man's last birthday, September 20th, 18, a date with 47 numerology. Also a date with 67 numerology. And he last played in 67. The Packers won the Super Bowl in 67. Freemasonry has the gematria of 67 when you take into account your S exception. Freemasonry is big on alchemy, gematria of 67. 67 is the 19th prime. The upcoming Super Bowl in the start of 2019. The date he died, October 13th. It's also the day leaving 79 days left in the year. Murder with the alphabetic order 79 when you flip it around to 83. Good day to be murdered as an 83-year-old. Not that there's really a good day to be murdered, but you know what I mean. To the psychopaths, that's how they see it. What a good day. Sorry, Jim. October 13th, 18, also a date with 41 numerology. Green Bay 41. 41 the 13th prime. NFL 13. Jim Taylor was born James Taylor, 139, like Freemasonry, like Green Bay. He was probably born into this Masonic network. Most athletes are. Here's his career stats. He played 118 games with Green Bay. Too bad in Jewish gematria, the word death equals 118. He started 103 games. Scottish equals 103 in the base ciphers. 117 games started in his career. When you write out 13 as a word, it has gematria of 117. There's more in there, but that's enough. What else is a kicker is from his death on 10/13, 1013 to the upcoming Super Bowls, 113 days. Scottish with the alphabetic order has that 113 gematria. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry responsible for American football. Scottish Rite 57, Jim Taylor 57. Derek made a good observation that the Milwaukee Brewers, Wisconsin, are in the World Series. Or not in the World Series, but they have a chance to join the World Series. World Series has its gematria 57 as 2. So I got to keep an eye on that. Could the Brew Crew make it to the World Series? They've only been there once before. No doubt a murder by the numbers. Remember, all of you who go to these sports games, you support the rigged sports, you support the ritual murders, you support all of it. People shut these leagues down, they wouldn't do this anymore. And these leagues need to be shut down. So here's another good one. Ryan Shazier. Last year, people got pissed at me for saying he faked his injury. A lot of people said it was the dumbest thing they'd ever heard in their life. Keep in mind, these are the dumbest people in the world who watch these sports games. You can't see that they're fake and rigged and ridiculously stupid. But according to the dumbest people in the world, I'm the dumbest person ever for making this video saying Ryan Shazier faked his injury last year, which he did. And I'll further prove that he did right now. This guy wears the number 50. Steelers equals 50. Pittsburgh 50. The word circle equals 50. That's the big one here. From the day Ryan Shazier got hurt against the Bengals last year, which was December 4th, 2017, to his comeback today, he didn't play today, but he walked on the field and got a big cheer against the Bengals, the same team that he got hurt against. From the injury to today is 314 days later. And why does that matter? This number has a lot to do with circles. It's a lot like 3.14 pi. And remember, the mathematical shorthand to get to pi is to divide 22 by 7. That gives you the approximation of pi in the English language. If you write out 22 divided by 7 with the alphabetic order, it sums to 314. And not coincidentally, if you write out 360, the degrees in a circle, it sums to 227. Now, yesterday on my Patreon, I pointed out that Ben Roethlisberger could become 22-7 against the Bengals on his 227th day of his age. What do you know? He did with a late touchdown. And not only that, but the Steelers won 28-21, 49 combined points. 227 is the 49th prime number. Steelers in gematria sums to 49. So does mathematics in the exact same cipher. That's where you take into account reduction gematria, but make S 10. Steelers is 49, mathematics 49. Old Pythagoras has that gematria 49. Not only that, but the Steelers won with 28. Remember, the word number equals 28. The word number has 6 letters in it. The first 2 perfect numbers are 6 and 28. Numbers are perfect. These are perfect rituals, perfectly scripted, and as dumb as can be. The Steelers were down, going to lose with no time left in the game, deep in their own field. How do you give up the entire field with almost no time in the game and lose? It happens every week in the NFL because these games aren't legitimate. I mean, if you're a $1 million athlete, if you're a multi-million-dollar coach, you don't think you know how to D up and not give up the winning score with pretty much no time left in the game? It happens every week because these teams play the dumbest defenses intentionally because it's all scripted. You don't think Ryan Shazier faked his injury and came back perfectly by the numbers for Ben Roethlisberger to get his 22-7 record against Cincinnati on his 227th day of his age? I guarantee you he did. I guarantee it. Just like how I showed last year, Ryan Shazier's injury was synced up with the Super Bowl as a tribute to the Steelers' 6-2 record, getting injured 62 days before the Super Bowl, which the Eagles, who used to be with the Steelers, protected by beating Tom Brady and the Patriots, who had a chance to become 6-2 and match the Steelers' record. That's in the era of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. They could have been 6-2. They didn't. Steelers and Eagles used to be the Steagles during the time of the World War. So for all the haters out there, stop hating on the truth. Stop supporting rigged sports. Now, for the last piece of this presentation, I got cut off here earlier. Hopefully I don't get cut off again. But again, we're watching out for the stock market on Monday. And since I started this, we've already gotten a big clue about what's coming. Saudi Arabia plunges their stock market early hours of October 15th, the day we've been looking out for, in light of what happened in history with Black Monday, as well as Black Tuesday. So we have Donald Trump, the Trump card during the time of the hit TV show House of Cards. House of Cards 134, Make America Great Again 134. There's a whole lot more to that number. If you read my book, you know all about it. There's a big long list of 134 connected to the Trump man. But again, we have all these things swirling right now. We got the U.S. in a trade war with China. China, our biggest trade partner. That'll rattle the House of Cards. We got Saudi Arabia now threatening with retaliations on oil prices. Well, that would really hurt. Oil dictates the prices of all things in this world because when transportation goes up, the cost of everything else does. And all transportation is relying on oil. We got the tech stocks, crashing down. No surprise there. There was no reason for them to be as high as they were in the first place. It's because it's all a manipulation. All these tech companies, they're all the government. Well, and what's the government really anyway? It's all controlled by the New World Order cabal, the bankers. Essentially, it's the bankers' world. The banker controls your government, the big industry, yada, yada, yada. We live in the bankers' world. But we just have all these things going on right now. And plus, not only that, we have the moron in chief, Mr. Silver Spoon in the mouth, who squandered tens of millions of dollars of daddy's money and had to be bailed out by the poor taxpayers. Had to be bailed out by the cue balls who don't know any better. But we just have all these things, right? It's all a big mocking. It's all a foreshadowing. The Trump was announced as the 45th president-elect on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. I've been telling you since day one. Okay, here it is. The fall of the wall, House of Cards. What do you think's coming here? Wasn't hard to see. Then we have the 1010 Economist cover prophecy synced up with Donald Trump's grandmother, which we'll get to here in just a moment. But again, here's the big thing about this Monday. It has numerology of 63 and 36. And now we got oil on the table factoring in, oil 36. Look at Wall Street, 36.63. You see this? The date of Black Monday 31 years ago, October 19th, 1987, that was a date with 135 numerology and 36. Look at the gematria of Wall Street in the base ciphers. 135, 36, 135. What day did Black Tuesday happen? Oh, October 29th, the day leaving 63 days left in the year. You see how this works? Now, the thing about Black Monday 31 years ago and Black Tuesday 89 years ago is 31's the 11th prime and 89's the 11th Fibonacci, and black equals 11. You see? Black 11. Black also sums to 29, which is why you had October 29th in 1929. And the people who are controlling this entire thing are Masonic. 33rd degree Scottish Rite of Freemasonry has the Order Out of Chaos motto. The Latin of that is Order Ab Cal. And notice the gematria of 63. Tomorrow has the 63 date numerology. And you know what? It's already tomorrow here where their stocks are plunging, okay? So we've already been talking about this. It's already starting to come true. I'd like to be wrong, but even if I'm wrong, I'm not going to be wrong for long. The planned collapse of the economy is coming. Everything I'm saying that's planned and coming is coming. I might be wrong about the dates, but it's coming. The planned collapse of the economy, the destruction in the Middle East that will foreshadow the third temple. I said that Donald Trump, being the 45th president-elect, foreshadowed all of this. And we see how it's all coming true. The coin being minted with Trump and King Cyrus and the third temple and everything else we've been talking about here. All of this stuff is part of the New World Order agenda. What is the New World Order? It's a Jewish world order. Thank you, New York Times, October 6, 1940. New World Order pledged to Jews. That's the New York Times speaking. There's nothing anti-Semitic about saying it. That was the headline that day. Anyone can look it up. It was a date with 75 numerology. Order Out of Chaos equals 75. So does New World Order. So does the word order alone. All in the base ciphers. That's why you got to know your base ciphers. Order, New World Order, Order Out of Chaos, all 75. These people have been controlling this world this way ever since. They've been setting the table decades in advance. And realize, just because they printed that headline that day doesn't mean that's the day it started. I mean, it started centuries before that. They just decided they were going to, pull that out of the woodwork just to put a little mockery there during the time of the World Wars, right before their little Holocaust, agenda piece by the numbers. But let's do this real quick. We got the Economist cover prediction, right, for 10/10/2018 from the year 88. And what's up with 88 in light of the Trump being president? Trump 88, Jewish 88, London 88, Banks 88. London has that banker city there. One of those independent city states like Washington, D.C., like Jerusalem in Israel. But that gold coin with the phoenix, 10/10/2018, right? 10/10/2018. What's it end up being? This is from 30 years ago, this cover. Get ready for a world currency, New World Order here. What happens on 10/10/2018? We get the third worst market performance in history. That's up there. That's high on the list. And I'm expecting a worse one. I'm expecting a worse one yet. I'm thinking the ball's just getting in motion here. Now remember, that magazine came out January 9th, 1988, a date with 36 numerology, Wall Street. That date can be written 1/9 like 19 for chaos, or 9/1 like 91 for Phoenix. And don't forget where Donald Trump had his first big rally when he began running for president. It was in Phoenix. It was in Phoenix, Arizona. And what's the Phoenix? What is the Phoenix? The Phoenix is the symbol of the New World Order. It's the thing that rises out of the destruction. Again, Manly P. Hall. In many of his books, he taught about the Order of the Quest, the secret Masonic alliance that established the United States of America with the agenda of creating a one world government, a one world order. And Manly P. Hall, the thing about his writing is he makes it sound like it'll be the greatest thing ever. It'll be in justice. It'll be based in justice and philosophy and truth. Are you guys feeling it? Are you feeling the justice, the philosophy, the truth with this type of manipulation, with this type of mockery, with the pussy grabber as your president, with a bunch of cue balls running around thinking they are the smartest things to ever walk the earth, thinking Donald Trump's their savior? Where's your dignity? You guys better go watch that commercial, you cue balls. I hope you're here taking notes. This is what the truth looks like. Here's our 4 base ciphers. I want you to see who runs it. Economics Freemason. Exact same in all 4 ciphers. You see how Phoenix has this gematria 26, like dollar, like bank, like God, like quest, as in the Order of the Quest, whose symbol is the Phoenix. Order of the Quest, 74, like Masonic, like Jewish, like London, like how Wall Street's on the 74th meridian. If you missed my deeper decode on this that I did last week, go back and check it out. Every single thing on this magazine cover, every subheadline, it all connects to the same thing. It's mind-blowing. And you can always come to my blog and just search Economist, cover, Phoenix. You'll find it. There's other things here that are important. The Economist is 61, which is the 18th prime. They made their prediction for 2018, 10/10/2018. Economist 113, like Scottish, as in Scottish Rite, like Baba Kamal 113A, 137, the 33rd prime, big Freemason number here. All sorts of things jumping out about that cover. Now let's see, what else do we got? What else do we need to make sure we revisit? What happened on 10/10/2018? It would have been the 138th birthday of the grandmother of Donald Trump. Would have been her 138th birthday. She was born October 10th, 1880. She would have turned 138, 2018. She died June 6th, 66. Derek pointed out, you guys got to see this right here. I don't often talk about this cipher. I wrote about it in my book and showed you what's relevant about it. But there's this cipher called Satanic Gematria. And what's different about this cipher is it just starts with A is 36 and B is 37 and counts up to Z is 61. So you just start at 36 and count up. Now it's called Satanic Gematria. And what's interesting is when you write out Satanic Gematria, it sums to 666, where 666 is the 36th triangular number. You see? It's the 36th triangular number. Isn't that something? And it starts with 36. What do you think happens when I write out Elizabeth Trump, the woman who died on 6/6/66? Isn't that something? Elizabeth Trump, 666. That's the grandmother of the savior for the cue balls. Oh, man, I can't believe people are so dumb. And don't get offended if I just called you dumb and you're a cue ball. Pull your head out of your ass, step your game up, and then I won't call you that anymore. You know, you have the chance to move into a new category today, the not dumb category. So anyway, Donald Trump, okay, I got to say his name right for here. Donald Trump equals 138, right? Like federal, like how the manufactured weather warfare storm made landfall on this day. You know, Michael 138. These people are the worst. Do you remember how much the market actually fell that day? It fell 831.83 points. That's a 138 in reverse. It was also 10/10/2018 was the Trump's 119th day of being 72 years old. President Trump equals 72. Money equals 72. Donald Trump in 2009 recorded this commercial talking to Digital Sheep on Pillars 11 and 9. Saying, looking good, number 9, looking good. When you add 1 through 9, it equals 45. Wearing the same suit and tie that he wore for election night, where he was announced as the 45th president-elect on November 9th, the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Again, Berlin Wall fell on November 9th. Star of David 119, Orthodox 119, All Seeing Eye 119. Look at what day the construction started for the Berlin Wall. 13/8, like 138. And I've been talking about this stuff since day one, you guys. Since put out my first videos on this right after it was announced that Donald Trump was the president. I just showed you how sick all of this stuff was and how it's all proof that he's a little New World Order puppet. Our elections are not legitimate. We're not a sovereign nation. We're being controlled by a gang of banker tyrants. They're controlling everything in the world, literally, that comes through the media that is theirs. And they're doing it all by this code every single day, mocking every inch of our existence. Another good one is from this date right here, August 13th, to the day JFK died was 831 days later. JFK, one of the last things he did was give a speech at the side of the Berlin Wall. His jelly-filled donut speech, one of his weirdest speeches. It was mistranslated as the jelly-filled donut, if you don't know about it. Look it up. JFK, Berlin Wall. It's all synced up with his death. It's all covered very thoroughly in my book. Who's picking up the book? I missed that jingle jingle sound. Anyway. Trump, Elizabeth, Jewish. It's all 88. Remember, it was his grandma Elizabeth who was even synced up with this date prophesized by The Economist in 88. See how hard they got us? Donald Trump, born to be, just like he says in this commercial. In this commercial, born for the job. Born for the job. And don't forget, Donald Trump had his convention in Quicken Loans Arena. And right after that, they started running the Humpty Dumpty ad. Donald Trump, the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election. Humpty Dumpty, 58, Freemasonry, Secret Society. 10/10/2018 had 58 date numerology. Rather than go down the same road that I've already gone down a few times this week, I think we've covered enough of the key points. I want to bring up something that I just brought up on the live stream I did over at Derek's channel. We just did that live earlier this afternoon. If you missed, you want to check it out. But I brought up something that I just thought of off the whim, and I want to show you what came up. So for years, I've wondered about this, and I brought it up in the past. In Charlotte, if you guys aren't aware, the richest city in the United States of America is New York, and the second richest is Charlotte because all the banks are headquartered there. And the Bank of America tower has this weird portrait. I think if I do this search, it'll probably pull it up. Maybe I got to type in, maybe if I put in the word eclipse, that'll help us out. There's this really weird portrait on the wall. This is it. This is on the wall. This is a giant mural on the wall of this Bank of America tower. And I've been looking at this for years, since even before Trump was the president, just trying to make sense of the symbolism. You know, we have the Masonic checkerboard, but they didn't make it black and white. We have some people that look like they're curious, they're arguing, they're debating. They look a little frustrated. The expressions on the face, this guy looks a little puzzled looking over at these two. We got an eclipse going on here. We have a person in a cube. We have a pyramid. And we have this little blonde boy who I've been speculating might be Donald Trump, born and bred to be, along with George W. and Bill Clinton, who were all born months apart from each other in 46. Derek had this theory on why this red thing's here. I'll have you guys check out our live stream. He expresses his point there. It's interesting. But what this made me start to think about is the fact that there's an eclipse here, right? And we just had that great American eclipse that was a real numerological phenomenon on August 21st, 2017. And that date can be written 21/8, 21/8. Remember, Trump in all caps in the Francis Bacon cipher sums to 218. And we just got that presidential emergency alert on our phones that was sent out at 2:18 Eastern Standard Time, where DC is. 2:18. Again, if you don't follow the work of Zenith of the Alpha, who's a brilliant mind, he's been making videos for more than a year about Trump and time in 2:18, way before this text emergency alert was put out. And there's a million things that are so fascinating about what was written in that alert. Derek's done a lot of good work on it. But I just want to show you what's up with from August 21st, the eclipse, to the emergency alert on October 3rd. So again, the eclipse, which is in that picture, was August 21st, and the alert was August 3rd, 2017. Whoops, it was 2018, excuse me. From the eclipse to the alert at 218, again, it's 218, that's the number here, August 21st, 218. That was 408 days later, right? 408, what do we know about 48? Zero doesn't count in numerology, so this number looks a lot like 48. Donald Trump equals 48. Freemason equals 48 in Hebrew and English. Illuminati equals 48. Now, on that Illuminati tip, this is a span of 409 days. Donald J. Trump has that gematria of 49, so does Washington. But the bigger thing is that 409 is the 80th prime number. I want you to see this. 409, the 80th prime. Why does that matter? Why does it matter that it's the 80th prime? Remember, Bavarian Illuminati has that gematria of 80, right? It also has that gematria of 188. What are the US dollar bill denominations? The 1, the 2, the 5, the 10, the 20, the 50, the 100, which sums to 188. Dollar bills with Illuminati symbolism all over them. What else? Synagogue of Satan, 80. Don't overlook the 64 either, because we know what nation is theirs. Israel, 64, Zion, 64. Remember Donald Trump in Israel for Jerusalem Day, May 22nd, 2017, a date with numerology of 64 and 44. He visited the site of the Western Wall where they plan to build the third temple, Western Wall, 4464. You haven't seen my work on August 11th, 2019, and what it has to do with Trump and his visit to the Western Wall and a whole bunch of other things, you got to check that out. All of this stuff is interconnected. Collapsing economies, scaring us, leading us astray, having us all root for Israel, the nation that we send millions and millions of dollars to every day. What's publicly known is that we send way over $10 million every single day to Israel. And I just want you to take a minute to really think about that. That every single day we send over $10 million, and that's just what's on public record, to Israel. Every day, over 10 million. That means every week it rounds out to somewhere around 80 million what's on record. I just want you to think about it. What could we do every week with $80 million? Would we have any more homeless people? I don't think so. You know, how many people could we really help and uplift in this world? Why does Israel, a little tiny nation, need so much money? You guys better pick up that Talmud. You know what it says in there? The non-Jews are a bunch of animals, a slave race. The purpose of their existence is to work and labor so that the chosen ones don't have to. You don't think that's going on in this world? You don't think these people are mocking every inch of our existence, from the contrived news to the pussy grabbers president to the rigged sports games to the ritual murders right in front of our faces that no one seems to catch on to? I'm so fed up with these people, you know. You can't even speak out against them. They delete your YouTube channel. Here I am on channel number 20. Took me nearly 5 years to get this channel beefed up to an amount where I was finally getting some major views, and then next thing I know, I wake up and the whole thing's deleted. Oh, thanks. These people know we're a threat to them, you know. They know we're a threat. Let me come over to the chat for just a second. I just want to see if anybody has any good comments or questions. If not, I'm going to sign off because I got another presentation to do. I'm not done yet. That's not how I get there. How do I get there? Let me get to the chat real quick if I can figure it out. Got to be smart enough. Struggling here. Let me see. There we go. Check out the chat real quick. And if no one's got anything for me, what I'm going to do is end this and fire up the next broadcast. Somebody says, how am I still alive? Well, my lungs are still working. My heart's still pumping. I've been eating food, getting some sleep, and watching my back, you know. Let's see here. Let's see. Lolo says, good night. Good night. Thank you for tuning in. In the morning, check out the next video I'm going to do. It's going to be a good one. Save it for the morning. Thank you for getting the book, Sylvia. I appreciate it. I'm still wondering what's up with the other 20-some thousand people here who can't support the book. Trying to make it the bestseller. We're trying to make this thing go viral in the world. Your $5 can help that happen, you know. I need headlines like best-selling book in the world, letters and numbers. That'll make people get some interest. So, I don't know. I guess you guys are saving them for the Mickey D's and all that. You want to give your money back to the tyrants. What's my take on the Bitcoin and gold? Well, I think all the gold's been stolen, and I think Bitcoin's run by the same people who run the rest of the markets. David Sloan says, should we all buy? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if you're talking about buying gold or Bitcoin or what. To me, my take on people say buy gold and silver in case the economy collapses because those metals always have value. But I want you to think about something. I want you to think about living in the United States of America with a collapsed economy and running around with gold and silver. I'm guessing you're going to live a lot less longer than the person who has no gold and silver, if you know what I mean. I think that would make you a real target in Fallout world. So I don't think there's any way to. Oh, okay, you guys. I just want you to understand. I'm not here to preach fear and like it's doom and gloom and the world's going to end. The world's not going to end no matter what they do. But just understand that they're doing all this manipulation by the numbers to steer us on the path of their agenda. I don't care if they collapse the economy. I do in the sense that to get to the grocery store and pay for gas to get to the grocery store and buy food, it'll probably all cost a fortune more, which none of us would appreciate. So I do care in that regard, but it's not like I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna end the world, and it's not like that. It's just like, God, these people are the worst. They're manipulating our existence. It needs to be ended. People need to understand what's going on. We need to see what their plan is, their contrived prophecy that they're fulfilling. That's the point of understanding this work, not to freak yourself out. I just had somebody who bought my book write me, and they said they've only gotten like 40 pages in. And since they've gotten that far, they had to put it down. And now they're having all these fears about the world and they can't sleep. And they asked me what I thought they should do. And I said, well, look, if the book is like crushing your reality or making you hate the world, then just put the book away. Don't read it right now. Think about other things. You know, the book's not meant to upset you or discourage you or flip your world upside down. I said, just put the book away, go focus on the things that make you happy so you can sleep and feel right again. And maybe try picking up the book again in the spring or something. Because we are also in that time of year, fall, where the weather's changing and it's getting darker. And for a lot of us, our mood gets darker. We have less sunlight. It's chillier. Our bones are creaking. So, I mean, there is a real impact on the seasons and the weather and our mood. But anyway, I'm just saying this all right now because, again, I realize sometimes my work really negatively impacts people because it like it's like getting hit with a cold shower. But I do this work for the people who are ready to wake up and who need to wake up and who are ready to become part of the solution to ending this. And you guys have heard my rants in the past about what I say needs to be done. I can't rant like that anymore because that's how the FBI ended up at my door. And it's also part of the reason so many YouTube channels have been taken down. You can't speak the truth too effectively, too passionately. So I'm saying what I can these days. And, if you guys can help me build up some capital by buying the book that I worked for 5 years on and made all these sacrifices for, again, I would have some money to help take this to the next level. Right now, money is accumulating. I'm thankful for everyone who has bought the book, who has supported the Patreon. But the time is now to act. And if you guys go out in big numbers, like all 20-some thousand of you who haven't bought the book yet, and you go out and you buy it, guess what? All of a sudden, I have $100-and-some thousand to work with. And I would like to use that money to forward this message, to travel to places, to speak out. The next time there's another big false flag, which we know isn't going to be too far off, I'd like to be able to travel there on the spot, educate people on the scene, hire some sidekicks to come with me, make a mini documentary, get some people with some professional video editing skills, and get this work to get more traction. So these are the things that I'm hoping for, and I got to tell you, prayers have been answered here in the last couple months since the FBI agent came to my door. Things have really turned around, and they were turning around a lot more quickly until Google put on the major censorship brakes. The majority of people who are subscribed aren't getting any notifications for any of my videos. They don't even know I'm making any new content. My video's not showing up in new people's feeds, so new people aren't finding this content. That was different a month ago. A month ago, the channel grew from what? It went from like 5,000 subscribers to 20,000 subscribers. And what did it do that in 2 weeks? And then they put the brakes on hard, and now it's been a slow go. So, and for those of you who are new here, my channel used to be a lot bigger. Right? This really is like my 20th channel. I was deleted June 28th, 2017 for the first time. And that was after years and years of censorship and strikes and being suspended and subscriber drops. But at that point, when I was deleted, I had 60,000 subs. So it'd be well over 100,000 by now. And the bigger your channel is, the bigger it allows you to get views and traction. So all of this stuff's been setbacks, but I've never stopped making videos. I've never stopped speaking out. And I need more people to help me spread this work by sharing these videos, by sharing this knowledge. And again, by going out and investing in that book, $5. I pretty much made the book a giveaway. $5 for what's in the book is nearly free. How's the markets doing in Asia? That's something I need to look at. I've been waiting for those headlines. I'm sure the information's out there. Tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'll be doing work on the economy and what's going on. So, well, I read an article around the same time that I came back that YouTube was going to ease up on the censorship, that they thought maybe they had overstepped their bounds and they'd gone too far. So I read that and I thought that was an encouraging sign that maybe I could keep a channel up. And the other thing that allowed me to come back, so what's different now on this channel from my old channels is I'm not using the name Zachary K. Hubbard. I'm on a different IP address. I have a different phone number hooked up to the channel. I don't know if those things are helping or not, but possibly they are. So Boogie Bro says, Zach, do you still need our money for your presidential campaign? Well, you know what's funny about that? The Shill Network, it very clearly stated that I was raising money for a book tour. So I don't know how you guys went from book tour to presidential campaign. I did write a little joke in the book tour blurb about how if it went well enough, I might run for president, but clearly that was a joke. So, the trolls and the slanders, they're just so dumb. But what's always funny is how dumb sheep fall for the obvious trolling and the misrepresentations. I mean, you're staring at a screen that shows a fundraiser for a book tour, which, by the way, got frozen. So it just goes to show, I mean, to say that I'm like the shill or something is not the case. That was another fundraiser that got frozen. They won't even let me have the fundraisers. Maybe I should start another fundraiser for a book tour. If I do it, I'll have to do it on, I forget what it is. I can't do a fundraiser on, what's that main one that they always use after all the contrived tragedies? GoFundMe. I can't do it on there. Anytime I start one on GoFundMe, they always freeze it. I got to use the other one I can't think of the name of right now. It's a smaller one. Yeah, pretty much nobody gets notifications for my videos anymore. They pretty much turned off almost everyone's notification feed. And it's real easy to see. Just go back and look at what kind of views I was getting a month ago. Way better. The views are way, way, way down. So it's not hard to see what happened. And the book sales are way, 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 way down also. So It goes to show that the censorship is working. All right, you guys. Oh yeah, here. Let me ban this guy, the troll. Adios, troll. But yeah, I did set up the fundraiser for the book tour for 100,000. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with me raising 100,000 to go speak across the nation day after day? I think that was well worth $100,000. I would have used that money very efficiently. That's the nice thing about sending money to me. I'll always use the money very wisely. I once heard retard from Boston boasting about how people were sending him money, and he goes, "I'm only spending about $5,000 a week traveling." I was like, "Man, only 5,000 a week? That's a lot of money to spend, moron." So, you can send your money to an idiot like that who speaks out of his ass and doesn't know what truth is, or you can send it to spine by like me. I guarantee you, I'd be able to get around for a week on 1,000 or less. You know? Donna says she turned letters and numbers into a 3-ring binder. Very cool. Thank you, Donna. Thanks for just joining the Patreon, Kevin. Pumping out a lot of content there. We got Gematria School every Tuesday night. We had our first class this past Tuesday. It was a lot of fun. We'll be doing another class every single Tuesday. I also started a new thing on Friday nights for the people who are into the sports. Friday nights, Friday night live decodes. We just do it as we do it live. We take your request. I teach you guys how to decode sports games. So I'm trying to teach you guys to do what I do. There's got to be more people in the world doing this work, and that's the goal right now. So really thankful for everyone who signed up for the Patreon. I'm making more on there than I ever needed to make, and like I said, if it gets even bigger, I'm going to start using that money to hire other people. So, but what I am saying is, I really would like the people who are on this channel who are hesitant to buy the book. I'd really like you to go out and support the book. Even if you don't want to read it on your computer because it's an ebook, you can always print it out. You can just print out the first chapter. You'll get your money's worth. But if you guys support that book, it does two things. One, it gives me sales that I can use towards publishers to get it in print. And two, if all of you went out and got it, it would bring in a lot of cash in a hurry. And in a hurry, we could start doing some big things. The time is now, you guys. They're moving. Something needs to be done. Obviously, I can't do it by myself, but if I'm out there on the street with a megaphone, I guarantee you I can wake up a lot more people each day, find more people like yourselves out there who are now loyal followers, loyal students of this work, speeding the knowledge, spreading the knowledge. That's what needs to happen. So I'm going to log off here, and I'm going to start up the next live stream. You guys will just have to wait a few minutes. I got my next topic ready to go. I got the Patreon is linked in the description of this video. If you can see down below, it says buy letters and numbers book here. If you open up the description, there's all these other links. And the one that says support my Patreon, it's that link right there. You can also just go to patreon.com/Zachary K. Hubbard. And if you look at every YouTube truth channel, they do not show how much money they have coming in. I told you guys, I'm totally transparent. I want people to see how much money's coming in. 5,214 is the monthly pledge level. Very generous amount, and I'm very grateful for that. And you know what makes me sad? Well, it's not. It's like beautiful and sad at the same time. The woman who pledges the most money each month is a single mother, and she has financial problems of her own. And I keep telling her, like, look, you don't need to support my Patreon. I mean, but she does. She just wants to. So the biggest supporter right now is a single mother out there, and who's struggling with her bills. But you know what they say about the poorest people? They're always the most generous too. So I also told her that if this book ever sells like it should, she's the same person who helped me edit the book. I tell her that if the book ever sells like it should, like if it reaches millions of people like it really should, I'll help her out with her debt problems, since she put in a lot of time reading and editing the book and giving me feedback. But anyway, gonna log off here. and I'm going to be right back. So just, refresh my channel. You know what I'll do? I'll just create one of those events just for a few minutes from now, and it's going to be the next one. I got something to show you guys about August 11th, 2019 that Derek and I uncovered in real time in the live stream we did earlier. I want to make sure everyone's aware of this. Just more and more and more and more and more is lining up with this August 11th, 2019 day. I would like to go to Israel and film a documentary speaking out to the people there, enlightening to them what is likely coming and what's in the works, and you know how we need to be. We probably can't stop this plan that's in motion. That's probably a pipe dream to think that we can stop what they're going to do. But what we can do is wake people up in record time when it does happen, and form a coalition of the willing. I once learned that term from George W. Bush. That was supposedly the name given to the people who are willing to fight terrorism in the Middle East. So we're going to fight the real terrorism in the Middle East, the coalition of the willing against the Zionist cabal that is doing this to us. All right, I'll be right back, you guys. Signing off. If you want to come back for round 2, please do. Till then.